Benjamin Fisher, 5014. I'm not here to debate whether or not we should or should not allow gay marriage. You guys have had countless testimony in that regard. I am here to say, though, that I am against this bill. As an attorney, I think that it is hastily drafted, poorly worded, and perniciously ambiguous or silent on some really important issues. And I add my voice to the other attorneys and judges who have stood before you, warning you guys that the way that this is drafted is not adequate. I realize that this is a difficult issue. I realize that you're trying to balance competing interests. And the cynic will say, you know, no matter what we draft, it's never going to be perfect, so we might as well just pass this one because it's here in front of us. But I think the people of Hawaii deserve better than that. I'm not quite so cynical yet that I think you're incapable of drafting a bill that adequately protects all parties. I think that you guys have that ability. One point that I might just bring up is possibly a conscious objection clause. Conscious objection is something that we're all very familiar with. We accept the concept. You don't have to serve in the military if you have a conscious objection. Certain doctors don't have to perform abortions. There was a case out of the federal district last year, Storman Inc. v. Selecki, which kind of touched on this issue. It's kind of an analogous issue, I think, and I'm happy to take questions about that at the end. But in that case, the court pointed out the irony that you're allowed to refuse services for any reason except a religious reason. And I think that that's a really important point that needs to be considered. I am against this bill. Again, I'm not here to debate whether or not we should or shouldn't allow gay marriage. I am here to say, as an attorney, this is poorly drafted. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up.
Aloha. My number is 5166. My name is Nikki Pagan, and I strongly oppose SB1. I am a teacher, and right now I am testifying in front of you, but right now I'm testifying in front of my 12 8th grade students who are watching. And my heart is to teach them that we have a voice, and it's really hard to give them examples when we are seeing what's happening in the news today. I believe that this bill is is wrong. This special session is wrong. We need to take time. It took me forever just to figure out what I'm going to write and say, and I only have 2 minutes. So passing a law that is going to affect everyone in the state, I think we need a little bit more time and to work these out to get everyone involved. I talked to a friend the other day. I saw her at dinner, and she said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to the Capitol to testify." She's like, "For what?" And I'm like, "What? For what? What's going on? How do you not know what's going on?" And it's probably half her fault because she's not paying attention, but I don't know if it's half our fault as legislators, your guys' fault, because nobody knows what's going on so fast under the radar. So it's kind of sketchy. I ask that we kill this bill. I ask that you let the people decide, and I hope that you bring it to a vote. And there's so much more people, my whole family that did not get to testify. My sister-in-law, whose number is 5164, who had to leave on a flight yesterday, who submitted a written testimony, but she didn't get to testify. So please kill this bill and vote no. Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Aloha. My name is Aaron William Kapili Aloha Abila. My number is 5144. I just want to tell you guys a little story of how I grew up. I'm 21 years old, and as a young, aspired young man, it hurts to see that, I grew up in a home of a family of morals and family value. On top of that, I'm also a Christian of 15 years, but without any religious agenda. The fact of the matter that this premature bill, this premature session, It really hurts because as a Hawaiian, as a native here, not being able to voice my own opinion, it hurts, you know. I grew up in a home where my father, he works hard. My mother, she takes care of us. And as I look towards the next generation, passing this bill it's not redefining just marriage, but redefining the home. And everything starts at home. One last thing that I want to tell you guys, I told myself I wouldn't do this, but I am a Christian, and I'd like to say this, is that Jesus did make marriage between one man and one woman. But I'd like to tell you that if you deny him before men today, he will deny you before the Father in heaven. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
I'm 5,100. Honorable Rhodes, Luke, and Representative, aloha, and thank you for taking the time to listen to us, the people of Hawaii. My name is Serena Lee, and I live in Kailua. I strongly oppose SB1 and the special session. I have 7 mo'opunas, and that's why I'm here. I do not want my mo'opunas to be learning in school that it's normal and okay to be a lesbian or homosexual. We will be confusing them. My stepdaughter was a lesbian and now is in a heterosexual relationship and gave birth to a beautiful daughter. So I know that it is a choice. In 1998, we voted that a marriage is between a man and a woman. What happened to that? I'm also a small business owner, and I do not want this bill, SB1, to dictate who I should do business with. If the gay couples from Hawaii want so badly to get married, then go to California or the other state that approve it to do so. Are you ready to take on all the kukais and opalas that will come with SB1? I am not, nor do I want to. Let's keep our Hawaii the same, with marriage between a man and a woman, pure and safe for our kupunas, for ourselves, and especially for our keikis. Remember, we, the people of Hawaii, voted you in those seats. And we, the people of Hawaii, can remove you from those seats at next year's election. So I urge you to vote no on SB1 and to let the people of Hawaii vote. Mahalo and aloha.
Next, please.
Aloha.
Oh,
My name is Norma Slavish. My number is 5094, and I am opposed to SB1. First of all, I want to thank every man, woman, and children who came out to testify against this horrific SB1 bill. You all of you outside watching us, all of you in here, all of you waiting out in the hallways, all of you at home watching this on television, I just want to thank you for standing up for your principles on marriage. That marriage is a union of one man and one woman. It is a gift from God. When God created Adam, he said it is not good for man to be alone. Thus, woman was created. Woman was created. God did not make 2 men. He did not make 2 women. 1 man and 1 woman equals marriage. I want to thank you, members of the House, for allowing us to testify in opposition. It has only made us stronger, wiser, and more united in our reason to heed God's word, to stop, listen, and make good choices. It gives us reason to get us out and make a stand for what is right for us, our children, mostly our children, and their future. You got to hear this one. Just this morning, we were outside waving signs, and some gals came by to give us water. And this gay person was standing next to me. He says, "Where is this water from?" And the gals were baffled, like this, it's from us, we're giving you this water. He says, well, is it gay water or is it straight water? The gals were baffled, and I'm thinking, where does this go? You know, are we going to have gay water fountains and straight water fountains, gay lines in the highway, and straight lines?
Thank you very much.
Thank
Next,
you.
please.
I am opposed.
Aloha, Chair Rose and Representative. I'm Bajanath Singh, 5039. Thank you for the opportunity to testify. I'm a proud gay man, Catholic, strong supporter of SB1. Being a part of this GLBT community for the past 25 years and involved in nonprofit works for our communities, I witnessed firsthand the impact inequality has on our community. For the past several days, we have heard answers to the question whether the body of government should grant marriage equality to the GLBT community. Some say equality for GLBT community would infringe on the sanctity of marriage between one man and one woman. I'm here to inform you that is not true. I did not choose to be a homosexual. It is not a lifestyle choice either. But choosing to be homophobic and having religious affiliation is a choice. Most of those that testify and claim the Bible as the Word of God should not engaging in premarital sex, eat fishes with barbell, feast on pork, wearing clothing that is made of mixed fabric, or working on the Sabbath. Before the first Christians stepped foot on the sandwich aisles, the fabric of family were much different. Mahus and Ikanis were placed in positions of power, such as educators, advisors, and artisans. If churches want a voice in government, they should start paying taxes. When it comes to civil rights issue, people oppose and discriminate what they don't understand. Some examples from the past include the rights of slaves to be free men, women to vote, interracial relationships, and now marriage equality. Please take into consideration, many GLBT persons are direct products of heterosexual parents that discriminate against their children. SB1 is very crucial to my survival in the fair state of Hawaii. But unfairness make individuals do and say anything to stop progress.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Next, please.
I'm number 5091. My name is Halihino Augustin. I am a Keikio Ka'aina, and I strongly oppose Senate Bill 1. Initially, I did not intend to submit testimony. I felt like my voice wouldn't have mattered, especially if you're listening to the media. Everyone kept telling me it's been decided. There's nothing you can do or say. It's going to go through, whether we like it or not. Then Monday came, and I felt like my feelings were confirmed as the Senate limited testimony from the people. They had made up their minds without allowing the people their right to participate in their government. As the House committee started to hear testimony, I observed the outcry of the people. When you decided that all testifiers would be heard, I felt encouraged. It empowered me with the confidence to engage in this process. I decided to write and submit my testimony an hour before the deadline. Our system of democracy works best when the people have the opportunity to have their voices heard. That's why I'm here today, for the hope that you may listen and act upon what you hear. I want to be clear that growing up in these islands, I have a lot of friends and family who are gay. I respect and love them all to this day. For me, this is more about the process of creating law and the protection of everyone's rights in Hawaii, and not about whether or not I disagree with their lifestyles. I'm not here to interject my morality into everyone's life. As a young adult, I am trying to determine, as a young adult, I am very concerned for the future of Hawaii and its people. My question to you is, why are we trying to determine Hawaii's future in a matter of days? This bill obviously has many flaws, and we shouldn't leave the future to chance. One of my main concerns is the change to the educational curriculum. Have we even allowed the Department of Education to weigh in on this issue? As someone else mentioned, there have been more impact studies on the rail. All I'm asking is for more time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Aloha. Thank you for sitting there long hours to hear our testimony. My name is Charlotte Alf, and my number is 5074. Everyone said pretty much what I want to hear, and I was meaning to say, but I have come to one particular conclusion. It seems words have meanings. Religion versus secular government. I feel like we didn't really be outraged when Christmas became Santa Claus, when Easter became the bunny, but the marriage belongs to the church. Civil unions is the other alternative. What else can we turn the other cheek for? I am opposed to SB1. It's going to lead to the downfall and unintended consequences to teach our young alternative lifestyles. They're being fair. Well, I recommend, if that of check and balance, that we can bring back God also into the education system. Because then, if that is left out and we impose alternative lifestyles, then now it's reverse discrimination. The word discrimination has been used quite loosely here because they believe the word distinction is what we are trying to make clear. My mother is not my father. I am not my sibling. We are distinctly different, but we're equal.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Thank you.
Hi, my number is 5123. My name is Jeff Ng. I strongly oppose this bill, SB1. I'm an architect and also a professional wedding photographer. I'm a father of two young children. I'm a son, a brother, and also a husband. Most of all, I'm a Christian. I hold a Christian value and moral in my home and my businesses. Everything that I do, Christ is the center of it. So as a wedding photographer, this bill put me in the risk of being sued of discrimination. I guarantee that this will happen if I continue with my business with my Christian belief. This bill put me in a very hard position. One side, I have a value and belief. The other side, I need to put food on the table for my family. I'm being forced to go against my Christian belief so that I can feed my family. So are you telling me that stealing is okay if I need to put food on the table? Also, this bill would have passed. It would also hurt the Hawaii tourism. As you know, that people from China are flocking into Hawaii right now. Hawaii Tourism Authority has estimated 23% growth from 2013 to 2014. Air China has just opened a direct flight to Hawaii, and Hawaiian Airlines will start their service directly from Beijing next year. To put this into another perspective, people from China value their traditional family value. When the traditional family comes to Hawaii and see ads and brochure about gay marriage in Hawaii, trust me, you're just gonna lose their market. Homosexual is not widely accepted.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Vote no. Chair, I'm gonna translate for her while she's...
Okay.
Yeah.
Aloha, dear Chairman and community member. My name is Marie Lin. My number is 5068. I'm here to strongly oppose SB1.
My husband was a Chinese born and raised in Hawaii. He went to Taiwan in 1967 as a missionary.
I'm sorry, let me interrupt just a second. What was the number again? 5068?
5068.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay. I met him there. I came to Hawaii with him in 1983. I have been a U.S. citizen since 1986. My husband passed away last year. We have 2 beautiful daughters. I love Hawaii because it is a very beautiful place, and here I spend my life with my loving husband for the past 30 years. And there are many Chinese from Taiwan and mainland China. I felt at home. For the past more than 5,000 years in Chinese culture, dynasty change, generation change, leader change, people's lives change, but the deep belief of traditional marriage is the union of a man and a woman never change. Because marriage is the fundamental structure of every prosperous society. We need a husband and a wife to make babies. True. So our human being can continue to exist. One man and one woman marriage deserve our whole heart defense. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Aloha. Number 5182. My name is Haliaka Iolani Pule. The last time I've been in this house was many, many years ago. My grandfather was a state house representative, one of the longest of his times. I remember being in here, not necessarily this room, but in this house, because he opened the legislature. His name was Akoni Pule. I learned from him within our household about how important it was to serve the people, to be of service. I spent my entire life being of service because of these core instructions that we have all been raised in. I am a Ho'oponopono teacher. As of this year, I've been to 140 different countries. I have helped different tribes to find different ways to restore harmony and balance to the many problems that we have in this world. I think the biggest problem with what's going on right now is that this bill touches upon such a big button that really reflects the core of who all of us are, every one of us. Our belief structure, who we are, has got a lot to do with what this bill is signifying and what it's very loosely talking about. Culturally, I take care of Hikiau Heiau, the temple complex at Kealakekua Bay. My 8th great-grandfather was Hewa Hewa Nui, the last high priest of Hawaii. That temple complex was also in charge of training the 3 different orders of priesthood.
Thank you very much. Next
Thank
testifier,
you.
please.
I'm also able to offer my services if you need
I'm
it.
sorry, we got to move on. I appreciate you being here. You do have the distinction of being the last person on the list, so for
Mahalo.
whatever that and $2 will buy you a cup of coffee, I guess, but
Well, I
congratulations.
figure if this didn't start with the pule, it can at least end with one, yeah?
Well, we're not done yet, unfortunately. Next, please.
Aloha, how's it? My name is Art Larson. My number is 5099. I want to thank you, Chair Rhodes, Luke, and the members of this committee for allowing, just for the patience and the enduring that you folks have done. I mean, from the bottom of my heart, and I represent about 5,000 people at New Hope. We really want to thank you. We want you to know that we love you. We're praying for you. We just pray God's best. I'm just here to share a little bit of the injustice that we feel. I am opposed to SB1. There is an injustice here, and the injustice is to 51 of you. This hasty and rushed special session brought out by a failing governor. I like to call him Governor, you're killing me, because he really is. He has thrown on you and on your shoulders, he has thrown you into a firestorm. You've heard it before, that you do not deserve, nor should you have to endure. You were put in a place that you ought not. All of Hawaii knows that this governor is not going to get reelected, and he is trying to write a legacy right now where there is none. He's trying to gain traction, and in the process, he's sucking all of you into it. And our heart goes out to all of you, because you cannot hammer out something like this that will enter into millennium in 5 days. And so we're struggling with you. There was something put on your shoulders that you are not able to carry, folks. All 51 of you. You are not. We didn't hire you for that. That was never our intention when we hired you. And remember, we did hire you, and we love you. And you are not intended to shoulder this. The people of Hawaii got strong shoulders. We got real strong shoulders. Let us carry the load for you. You know, I know what it means to be a leader, folks. I'm a father of 2, a grandfather of 3. I'm a retired NCO in the Hawaii Army National Guard, and I'm one of the pastors at New Hope Leeward. And leadership knows that it takes teamwork. Let the people of Hawaii team up with you. Don't take it. Forget about, you're killing me. Let's go together. Amen?
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Greetings, members of the House of Representatives. My name is Jason C.S. Kim, and my number is 5097. And greetings also to Chair Rose and Chair Luke. I'm a resident and voter of the state of Hawaii. If God's laws and rules and statutes were violated, I would gladly fight for the LGBT community, but this is not the case. After civil unions bill passed in our great state of Hawaii, 2 homosexual couples soon sued the state and Governor Abercrombie because they could not get married. If SB1 passes, there will be more lawsuits, more testimonies, and the other side will keep fighting for their rights. This is as if all those in the LGBT community came out of the closet, and those for traditional marriage are forced into the same closet they came out of. But the problem is, this closet space is not big enough to hold and fit all those in favor of traditional marriage. It's just not big enough. So I see a future in our great state of Hawaii where if a person is not in line and for homosexual rights, he or she can be punished by losing employment because of discrimination complaints, children forced to learn and accept homosexuality. Some of us will be arrested and thrown into prisons for standing up for our religious convictions, and the list goes on and on. My point is our freedoms will get smaller and smaller while those in the LGBT community will get larger and larger. And this means our space and our place in society if SB1 passes. Do the majority of us who are not homosexual have to suffer because of the few who are? Their persecution and the condemnation of us will get greater than before. When Jesus forgave the woman caught in the very act of adultery, he told her, "I do not condemn you either. Go and sin no more." Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you to God, homosexuality is a sin. If homosexuality was not a sin, as I said before, I would gladly fight for this, but it's not.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Thank you all for your dedication and time. My name is Jenny Wallace. My number is 5035, and I speak in favor of SB1. I am a canon in the Episcopal Church in Hawaii who last week voted unanimously in favor of marriage equality. I believe in Christian values, especially unconditional love and the radical inclusiveness our Lord showed in his life and teaching. I believe in traditional marriage, and I have been married to a wonderful man for almost 40 years. Thankfully, traditions change. There was a time in this country where we could not have been married because we are of different races. Archbishop Desmond Tutu once said that we are to oppose discrimination not because of our politics, but because of our faith. And I do. However, this is a civil issue, and I believe a justice issue. Our country was founded on the principle that all people are created equal, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Of course, at the time, the only ones allowed full exercise of those rights were old white men in funny wigs who happened to be landowners. Generations since have expanded our understanding and passed laws based on that principle. Poor people, them too. Black people, them too. Women, them too. Gay people, yes, them too.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Hello, my name is April Bullard, and my number is 5052, and I oppose SB1. I want to say my testimony isn't a personal attack on anyone or on the other side of this issue. I have deep respect for those whose worldviews are different than my own, whether they be Christian, Jew, Muslim, Hindu, atheist, gay, straight, or transgendered. I believe that wise public policy is derived from analyzing data, understanding the lessons of history, and examining our fundamental values. I lived in California during the debate over same-sex marriage, and I witnessed the political intimidation firsthand. I currently am getting my teaching credential for the state of California, and I am being taught how to affirm homosexuality in adolescent children. Although California voted to amend the state constitution to define marriage between a man and a woman, the government refused to comply with the people's wishes and overturned the law. Now, California has 3 parent birth certificates. Transgendered boys are allowed in girls' bathrooms and locker rooms, and Gay Day is celebrated in our schools. The IRS allegedly leaked the donor list for my traditional marriage group to their political opponents to intimidate them. I disagree with comparing homosexuality to race. Although riding the coattails of the 1960s civil rights movement has been a brilliant political strategy, it isn't true comparison. First, race is objectively identified at birth. DNA can confirm racial identity, and forensic scientists can identify race by skeletal remains. What I feel about my racial identity is insignificant because my genetic composition merely confirms a fact. None of these objective standards of identification can be applied to sexual orientation. In psychology textbooks, it says scientists debate the origins of homosexuality. The belief that sexual orientation is genetic is undermined by the studies of identical twins. Scientific research shows that sexual orientation is flexible, complex, and multifaceted. It changes over time. This is not true of race. One of the first large-scale studies concluded that children raised in same-sex relationships, nearly 40%, were less likely to graduate high school.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
My name is Nan Chandler. My number is 5092, and I oppose SB number 1. The Hawaii Constitutional Amendment of 1998 states that the legislature shall have power to reserve marriage to opposite-sex couples. It does not state that the legislature shall have power to reserve marriage to same-sex couples. So either this amendment is being interpreted to favor one side of the issue, or an addendum was added without the knowledge of the people of this state. I think that there needs to be accountability on the part of lawyers and legislators to keep the public informed and to not craft legislation that may be misleading to the people. I oppose SB1 as it does not adequately protect the religious rights of individuals, religious facilities, and small businesses. I do not think that anyone should be forced to do something that is contrary to their religious beliefs. I have read SB1 and do not understand all of it, but I have reservations about Section 572F, page 6. It states, notwithstanding any other law to the contrary, no religious organization shall be subject to any fine, penalty, injunction, administrative proceeding, or civil liability for refusing to make its facilities or grounds available for solemnization of any marriage celebration under this chapter. And it goes on. It sounds like the phrase, notwithstanding any other law to the contrary, leaves an open door for a law to be added later on to nullify this protection. It does not make sense to give rights to one group by taking away the constitutionally held rights of another. Religious rights were specifically included in the U.S. Constitution because of religious persecution in past history. I know individuals who are gay or who support gay marriage, and I respect that. I differ with friends on other beliefs and issues, but we still get along and love each other because we have mutual respect for each other's beliefs and values. I ask that you put your political parties aside, consult lawyers and experts on both sides of the issue, and come up with a fair piece of legislation that preserves religious rights and freedoms.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
What's up? My name is Peter Parrish, and my number is 5120. And I am against rail transit. Oh, sorry, is this the right room? Sorry, wrong room. No, I'm against I am not for SB1. I'm against SB1.
I'm sorry. Can you tell me again what your number was?
5120.
5120. What was your name?
Peter Parrish.
Okay. You're good. Go for it. Sorry.
So, for me personally, as I was pondering like the both sides of everything, I want to give you guys a lot of credit for the past few days, for everything that you've gone through. I mean, from the testimonies to the opinions to some of them were almost like threatening. You guys dealt with a lot, so congratulations to you guys. Well, for me personally, I like to think in questions, and so when it came to this bill, I really was pondering on a lot of different things, and like a big question came to my mind, and I want to propose this question to you guys as well. My question is, if what we're doing at its simplest form is taking the definition of marriage and adding to the definition, so we're redefining marriage, what's going to stop future generations or few people in the future from adding to that definition as well? If we're saying that if a man and a woman is allowed to be married, that's the original definition, and we're saying that we can add a man and a man or a woman and a woman into the same thing, then who's going to stop future generations from saying that if one person wants to get married to multiple women or a woman wants to get married to multiple men, to add to that definition as well? Or who's to say that a man can't marry his sister, or a mother can marry her son? Because they're going to be saying that if you redefine it for them, why can't you redefine it for us? And in the future, in that case, because there's a lot of different case studies, and people have brought those to their own state courts as well. And in the future, people can say, like, I can marry a pedophile, or someone can say that I can marry a 5-year-old girl, or likewise. And to eventually say that we can eventually redefine marriage and keep adding to it to a point where you don't even have to be a person. You can be a person marrying an object or even an animal. So my question to you is, what's going to stop us from the future for people in the future?
Thanks very much. Next, please.
Marriage? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Christian C Nov, and my number is 5045, and I'm opposed to SB1. And I understand there's a lot of emotional ties to this subject, because on the one hand, people feel like their rights are being stepped on. People feel like their rights have been denied for so long. And when we say that, hey, why this special session? Why the rush? Well, to them, they've been waiting for a long time, and it's not a rush. But on the other hand, we have people over here that believe in the First Amendment. They believe in what this country stands for, and they don't believe that marriage is between, by definition, is between opposite same-sex couples. Traditionally, marriage has been understood, apart from my own faith, which I do stand upon the foundations of the Bible, that the Bible does make it explicitly clear that marriage is between a man and a woman. Apart from that, traditionally, marriage has been understood as having at its core the possibility of procreation, at its essence, the protection of posterity, the furthering of the human race. And I feel for my LGBT family members, friends, that they can't ever experience that part. That they can't experience that, and that's where I stand. I stand on that and say, who are we to redefine marriage? Who are we to redefine it? And the slippery slope argument, as sick and tired of people as people are of hearing it, it's true. That if you're going to redefine it now, how are you as legislature going to look in the eyes of someone else who says, I want to be married to multiple partners? How are you guys going to look at them with a clear conscience and say, sorry, no? you've trampled their rights too if you guys go on with this. And I'd just like to say that as a member of the church, we love our LGBT family members, our friends and all that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jing Hu, and my number is 5054. I'm Chinese and have lived on this beautiful island for 11.5 years. I'm strongly and firmly against the SB1 bill. Marriage is a covenant between a man and a woman. It's a relationship rooted in human nature and governed by natural law. The promotion of same-sex marriage denies the self-evident biological, physiological, and psychological differences between men and women, which find their complementarity in marriage. Marriage is the central element of society, a reason why we should be worried by the redefining of marriage is the unintended consequences of such a step. Legal recognition of same-sex marriage will change the foundation of society, obscure certain basic moral values, devalue traditional marriage, weaken public morality, and thus open the door to all kinds of crazy behaviors. Please respect our concern that extending marriage to same-sex couples is not only unwise, but also dangerous. The sky over this beautiful island has an ominous look of falling. Please get it right by saying no to the SB1 bill. Mahalo.
Thanks very much. Next, please.
Aloha mai. My name is Michaela Branco, and my number is 5179. I'm a 20-year-old Kona Hawaii native, and I'm also a UH student. And today I stand in opposition of SB1, but I also need to make it clear that although I'm against this bill, that doesn't mean that I'm against people or individuals. You know, I look around this room and I don't see a homosexual group and a heterosexual group. I just see people. I see people fighting for happiness and for what they believe in. And so originally I had a note card with all of these notes that I just wanted to say. But this weekend, I got to work at Alo'i Kalo, which is a taro farm. And I was thinking, you know, why is this so important to me? I've never gotten involved with governmental issues before, so why do I care? And I was looking at this Lo'i Kalo, and the most important part of it is the kahawai, which is the stream. And the water from the stream comes into the lo'i, and it comes in, and then it goes back into the stream so that other people with other lo'i can also take part in the water. But if we cut off the water and we divert all of the water to another place, then this lo'i that we have, it dries out. And the people, they get scared, they feel like they can't provide for their families, and they get angry at the people who do have all of the water, where the water is being diverted to. And it creates this division in people. And that's what I feel like this bill is doing. It's creating a division in our people. You know, it breaks my heart when I'm upstairs and I see people, adults, fighting with each other, arguing, bashing each other, and this isn't what Hawaii's supposed to be like. And so I believe that there's a better solution than SB1. And as previously mentioned, I heard that HB6, I'm not really sure, but you know, I believe that that's maybe another option. And but yeah, so with that, I just wanted to leave you with something that I heard in the 7th grade that I always remembered was, an eye for an eye will only leave our whole world blind. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Hi, my name is Blaze, and my number is 5064, and I oppose this bill because in my school, I would not want to learn about gay, sexual stuff, and marriage is between a man and a woman, so we can multiply.
Can you tell me, I'm sorry, can you tell me your name again?
Blaze.
Blaze, okay, great. Go ahead.
To multiply people. If a man and a man get together, they will most likely will not have a baby, and a woman won't have a baby. And I have family members that are gay, and I still love them. And And I would like you guys to kill this bill because I don't like it.
Okay. Thanks for now. Thanks. Thank you. Next, please.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Jing Haiyang, and my number is 5053. I came to Hawaii as a Chinese, as an international student, and I'm working now as a structural engineer. Now, I am strongly against the SB1 bill. Some people think that we should legalize same-sex marriage because there are people who are born to be homosexual, and it is not their choices. I disagree with this argument. When I was a toddler, I wanted to steal toys from other kids because I was born with the natural desire to possess other kids' toys that I don't have. When I became a young man, I wanted to have many wives because I was born with this natural desire. However, our government does not legalize theft and polygamy according to people's natural desires because it is harmful to the whole society. I learned to understand and support this. In the same way, we should not legalize same-sex marriage to satisfy some people's sexual desire, even if it is natural, because it will not sustain our society. Children are conceived by a mother and a father, and will be best raised by a mom and a dad, who are their most important role models. Marriage between opposite sex is the very foundation of our human race and society. Do not compromise this foundation. And please vote no for the same-sex marriage bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
Honorable Chairperson Carl Rhodes and Sylvia Luke, and elected members of the House. My name is Hiroshi Chinen, and my registration number is 5103. I am 87 years old and reside in Kaneohe, and I am deeply honored for the privilege you all allowing me to share my concern over SB1. I most definitely oppose SB1 because due process of this bill was not exercised. I believe if due process was done the proper way, our beloved state of Hawaii would not be so divided as reported in a daily newspaper. Our Honorable Governor Neil Abercrombie and his pals tried to ramrod this bill. This past Monday, I heard number of people share their testimony in regards to the subject matter. My impression on those who opposed and those who are in favor of SB1 spoke eloquently, clear, and concise. But I was appalled by the chairperson conduct and his dictatorial attitude as the Senate public hearing. Originally, the people who testified were told they will be given 2 minutes to speak. And when it started, they were advised they had only 1 minute. Is this the way our elected officials conduct their business in the legislative session. Bullying the people to get their points across is not the thing to do. But tonight, as I listened to the Judiciary Committee of the House, I was so pleasantly surprised. This committee members showed so much courtesy and respect to the public, and I'm sure that the participants enjoy their sharing the testimony. The committee members did not
Despite
mock.
the compliment, I'm going to have to cut you off. Thank you very much. Next, please.
Aloha and Maloi Lele. My name is Carol Fanga, and my registration number is 5162. And I'm from La'i, and I'm very proud to be from that community. The reason I am here today is to oppose Senate Bill 1. And the reason for that, well, there's several reasons, but one thing I'd want to bring across today is to ask you House representatives to please consider some extended time to strongly consider all of the different voices that have been sharing their opinions about this very sensitive issue. It's so important that we continue to create harmony with all of these different divisions, religions, as well as gays and lesbians, as well as just everyone. And I really think that if you have the opportunity, it's in your hands now to take the time to come up with a comprehensive plan that would include opportunity, and especially all of us people, to be at the table to support you in this decision. We realize that there are so many issues that we're all facing regarding GMOs, electric bills, all these kinds of things skyrocketing. This issue came out of left field in a special session. We invite you to invite us to be a part of this and help to make this solution so that we can continue to build a bridge rather than to create a huger disconnect between these communities. We didn't ask for this, and we realize that it's out of our hands, but we're asking now and put faith in all of you representatives. We voted for all of you, and we ask, actually, let me ask you, if you were invited to make a call today by sharing what your constituents or everyone in your district, what the majority would ask you to vote, what would it be? I don't expect you to answer that, but if you were to just answer on behalf of your people, honestly, truly, and honestly, I wonder what your answer would have to be. So that is my testimony, and I ask that if you would also consider looking deeply into your communities, there are individuals who want to aid you in this and support in these efforts and bringing people together. Let me know.
Thank you very much. Next, please.
My number is 5157. My name is Sheila Famuna, and I stand here today to say no to SB1. I stand here in honor of my ancestors, grandparents, and parents who could not be here today. I am frustrated with the process in which this bill is being heard. Our governor called a special session in which you, our legislatures, are attempting to pass this law within a day or two. There are many people who have come out to speak in opposition to this bill, and this is because we fear that you, our elected representatives, will not listen to the voices of the people. This issue is very important to many of us, and we should be able to vote on this. Let the voice of the people decide where we would like the future of our state to go. Sometimes we rush, but sometimes we need to step back and look back at this problem. Give it time. I believe in traditional marriages. I believe there is a God. Don't let evil conquer you, but conquer evil by doing good. Kill the bill, not kill the people and their freedom. Mahalo.
Thanks very much. Next, please.
My name is Noveo Kai. My number is 5028. The more I learn about the Senate Bill 1, the more I'm confused how this bill even came to this point. I'm confused at the fact that I've been reprioritizing my schedule, pausing work and school progress to come to the Capitol to plead for an opportunity to vote. This bill's report title reads Equal Rights, and its measure title reiterates relating to equal rights. However, altering ethnicity is not equal, and it's not right. According to this bill, parentage rights include transferring Native Hawaiian ethnicity to non-Native Hawaiian individuals. I'm going to say that again. According to this bill, parentage rights include transferring Native Hawaiian ethnicity to non-Native Hawaiian individuals. That's not even an existing privilege afforded to married couples. You know, there's the wrath of God that many citizens have happily shared with you these past few days. And then there's the wrath of Native Hawaiians. Have you considered that? There's also the forced curricula in school systems. So before Hawaii students collectively rank above 50 in the nation for science, technology, engineering, and math disciplines, let's add new regulations and benchmarks for our youth to not meet. As a recent lawyer mentioned, he's sitting in the back, this bill extends beyond same-gender marriage. In an attempt to gain equality for one thing, this bill, as is, creates even more inequality. Perhaps a more suitable title should read, Not Equal, Not Right. I'm disheartened with my policymakers and embarrassed for my country regarding the drafting of this bill. More impact assessment has been made on the super ferry and, as Holly mentioned, the rail. I'm certain there are high school research papers that have gotten more reviews than this bill. A'ole pono, SB1.
Aloha to all of us, because we are gathered here and all of us have the kuleana we share. They just have a different kuleana, but we have a shared one for the sake of our Hawaii. I am Feuera Testifier 5141, and I am in opposition of the bill. I'm not going to spend time talking about the bill, but the process. How blessed we are that we are of Hawaii, and if you don't feel you blessed, then you got to find another home. But being part of this blessing carries much kuleana, because there are privileges here on this island. I want to begin with the words of our beloved and astute leader that you should study, Queen Liliuokalani, whose words have never been more relevant. I encourage all those in positions of leadership to study her teachings. I've taken the liberty of adding some mana'o for the present situation. Quote, I could not hold back the time for political change, but there is still time to save our heritage, our future, for generations yet to be born. You must never cease to act because you fear you may fail, or be concerned whether you'll win the next election. The way is to be too flexible, tolerant of too many wrongs without judgment at all, or to listen to people with your bias. We are in a position where this is a razor's edge. It is the width of a blade of pili grass. Go find one, you will see it's real small. To gain the kingdom of Apono Hawaii is to hear what is not said, to see what cannot be seen, and to know the unknowable. That is aloha. How close are we to understanding that place where opposing positions meet? And you know, I'm so proud, and what got me here is because at almost 70, I have to teach the others. So you are not with an ignorant citizenry. So mahalo for the opportunity.
Next, please.
Talofa and aloha. My name is Burkhart Aitavale. My number is 5138. I oppose SB1 bill for many reasons. One, children do best when they're raised by their biological father and mother, who are committed to one another in a lifelong marriage. Two, I believe any society that truly opposes and cares about our children will oppose the legalization of homosexual unions for the reason alone. Three, children need the complementary balance of a kind of love both mother and the father provide. The nurture and the compassion of a mother combined with a father's love, which calls a child to achievement in order to fulfill God's given potential. Plus, children learn how to relate to both sexes later in life by relating to both mom and a dad, and observe the way in which they relate to each other. I urge you all not to pass this bill. It is incomplete and insufficient. All the political games need to stop. Think about our children. Governor, not under my watch, you will sneak this bill under my home. Yes, Hawaii name. My holly, my heart, my pride, and my soul. I will stand for my babies. I have 7 beautiful gifts from God. My nephews and my nieces all over these islands and all the keikis. I will stand and defend for you in this beautiful island of Hawaii. We will be the light of this falling nation. We will be the foundation of our nation. We will let everyone know this small island's light will shine all over America again. To Europe, where it started. Just because I stand for traditional marriage doesn't mean I hate you all. I love you all. Trust me, I love you all. It's not that I hate you all, I disagree with you. Don't get it twisted. I believe you all have a sworn oath of office at the end, which it says, so help me God. Where is God? You will serve the people. You will be their voice. I humbly ask you all to come together and be the light, not only in your workplaces and in the families and your homes.
Thank you very much.
Vote and trust
Next,
me.
please.
Remember the next year, make the right decision and
Next,
think about the
please.
future of our children.
Next, please.
God bless you all.
Talofa, my name is Arona Uta and my number is 5139. I come today because I don't like SB1. Please listen to the people of Hawaii. We are saying, let us vote. I believe in traditional marriage between one man and one woman. I believe you all will do the right things. Chairman, it is customary to take time to discuss all the information gathered from 4 days of testimony. They should take at least a couple of days to consider and discuss. It is only common sense to take time and discuss things thoroughly before they come to decisions for something as important as this. Do not mock to the people of Hawaii and treat them like fools and make a decision today. Have you read all 15,000 testimony? If you make a decision today, that means you already had your mind made up, and this was a sham. On Saturday night, you schedule when the decision when going to be, which means you already made up your mind on this bill. Don't do that to the hundreds of people who stood in line. Please let Hawaii vote. Thank you, and mahalo nui loa. God bless.
Thanks very much. Next, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Wai Ying Chi. My number is 5129. I'm a husband, and my son is 13 years old. I'm a pastor of Chinese Lutheran Church of Honolulu on Liliha Street. I came from Hong Kong and has been here 3 years. I'm strongly opposing SB1. Again, I'm strongly opposing SB1. Thank you for listening to my voice, and I am sure all of you have heard the voice of people, but please listen. Listen to our voice and our concern. Our concerns are the education traditional value, one man and one woman marriage. How bad is SB1 passed to our next generation? All of this also is my concern. But today, I want to ask a question to our governor, to all representatives. Why are you pressing the people to accept this immoral practice, same-sex marriage? In these islands, in the school, in our life. What is the moral? According to Immanuel Kant, he was a German philosopher. He grounded an opinion of it. If the act is moral, that means you agree and hope all people to do the same things. And you think this practice or act in whole human society, human race, and it will benefit the whole human race. If under this understanding,
Thank you very much. Next,
same-sex
please.
marriage
I'm sorry.
is immoral.
Please.
Thank you.
Hi,
My name is Samantha D. Court. I oppose Senate Bill 1 and my number is 5184. Marriage exists because God created it, and it was intended as a gift from God between one man and one woman. Now we have to ask ourselves, why was God so specific between one man and one woman? Why not say marriage is for any two people who love each other? Why so specific? It's obvious that God knew today would come. He knew that there would be a time when man would redefine what he has purposely created to be holy and to be sacred. And today is that day. For this reason specifically, we have to ask ourselves, what will man redefine next? Forgiveness, prayer, salvation? In years to come, will our state senate or House of Representatives determine if my children get into heaven or not, even though the Bible clearly states that Jesus is the only way to the Father? Will our government determine if my granddaughter has been forgiven of her sins, even though the Bible says that God has thrown her sins into the sea of forgetfulness? Does God not hear the prayers of the righteous? These areas, God has given clear instruction. Now, regardless if you support or oppose Senate Bill 1, I believe we can all agree on one thing, that God created marriage, right? Now, let me ask you another question. Do you think God's creations needs to be revised or approved by a committee? Do you think God isn't intelligent enough to think things through when he left us with certain instructions? That God makes mistakes? And if you answered yes to those last two questions, it's no wonder why we're here today, because you're not redefining marriage, you're redefining God. Thank you.
Thank you. At this point, we're going to stop and see if members have any questions for this last group of testifiers. Members? Okay. Representative Vice Chair Har.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can I have Haleaka Iolani Pule come up, please? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm
Aloha.
sorry. Aloha. Thank you for being here. I was watching your testimony from upstairs when I was eating, and I just wanted to be clear. Are you in support or in opposition of the bill?
I'm in opposition of this bill.
Okay, and why do you think that we would need to ho'oponopono after this?
Well, basically, number one, like many other before me, the wording of this paper, this bill, is so screwed up. Excuse my English, but Hawaiians don't swear words. I'm going to use an English word to describe it. It really does not cover, and it shows a lack of insight. And all you got to do is look at those that have implemented it into their states to see the problems that are there, to reconsider the wording that is needed in order to make this equal.
As a Native Hawaiian, are you offended by the bill?
No, I'm not offended. It takes a lot to offend me, actually, which makes me a really good ho'oponopono teacher. But as a Native Hawaiian, you know, I was explaining previous, my 8th great-grandfather was Hewa Hewa Nui. He foreseen the coming of a new way of honoring Akua. He laid down the ki'i of Hikiau Heiau in Kealakekua Bay 20 years before the very first missionary hit our shores. Okay. We found our way to believe. We look at nature. Nature is created around us. We have all the lessons that are right here. And through that, I do believe that Akua does exist. I do believe that nature holds all the answers, because all you have to do is look at pharmaceuticals nowadays versus all the natural healing to see what's going on. Thank you.
Members, any other questions?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Representative Fale.
For me too?
No, I think you answer. I think you answer them already.
Mahalo.
Thank you, Auntie. Let's see. Ofela uso Samoa o le numera 5 kasi koluiwa.
Okay. Anyone else?
Okay. Well, let me. My Samoan brother over here, if he can. I just want to get their opinion, Mr. Speaker, on a sentence here. When I read you this sentence, The legislature shall have the power to reserve marriage to opposite-sex couples. You're of Samoan descent, correct?
I'm sorry.
What does that mean?
Please get to the point. This is this is an issue we've gone over about 100 times.
Well, the point that I have, Mr. Chair, is that I want to ask a group, and I have several questions here. I would like also to call up the structural engineer from China, and some of these other cultural groups here, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair.
One at a time, but ask your question and let's move on.
Okay. When I read you that question, given your Samoan heritage, your background, and the multicultural diversity that we have here in the state of Hawaii, we try and, if we're trying to communicate something to 1.4 million people, we try and get them to understand what we're saying so that we don't have to go to court and ask people who have gone to school for 20 years or however long to understand it, right? So I want to ask you, when I read you this sentence, what does it mean to you? The legislature shall have the power to reserve marriage to opposite-sex couples.
I'm sorry, we've gone over this 100 times, so please ask a different question.
Mr. Speaker, this question has never been asked of a Samoan in this group yet, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chair.
If you'd like to ask him if you'd like to go out in the audience and talk to him privately, that's fine.
But I think it's important for this committee to understand.
If you feel like you need that information to make a decision on this bill, please go talk to him. But this issue has been.
But I think it's important for this committee to understand.
Go ahead and go talk to him, but there's just no point in going over this again. Do you have another question?
Well, Mr. Chair, it's just. I'm just concerned that the language that we use, is it being communicated to the multicultural group that we're presented with here in the state of Hawaii?
Yes or no?
What does that mean to you? If the legislature shall have the power to reserve marriage to opposite-sex couples, if you vote yes on that, what does that mean to you?
Robbing the people.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Let's move on.
People
Members,
is the
any
power.
other questions?
We got to understand that.
Okay.
I have another question for Carol Fenga.
Okay, make it quick.
And I know, Carol, I know you're of Tongan ancestry, and you heard that question. When you read that question and if you answer yes on it, what do you believe that would do?
That would reserve the marriage for opposite man and woman.
Period. Does it mean anything else? Do you believe that turned power over from the people to somebody else, or do you believe that means it reserves marriage to one man and one woman?
Okay. This issue has been dealt with multiple times. So please, do you have any other questions?
Okay. No, that's all. Now for the structural engineer, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I'm going to open it up.
Mr. Chairman,
I'm going to open
with
it up.
all due respect, Mr. Chairman, the fact of the matter is he hasn't asked that question to this particular testifier, so he should be able to ask that question to this testifier. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
He can ask the question to the testifier anytime he likes. I'm just saying that we've gone over it in this committee hundreds of times.
But he hasn't asked that particular testifier, Mr. Chairman. So he's tried to, but you are cutting them off.
I'm saying if you believe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Representative Foley, if you believe that you need the specific information from that witness to make a decision on this bill, please go ask him privately. But this committee has dealt with that question 100 times at least. Do you have another question on something?
I don't believe I've gotten the answer to that question, Mr. Chair.
Well, then go ask him privately, because this committee has dealt with that question over and over and over again.
All right. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, any other questions? Okay, seeing none. Next testifier.
Just take a recess.
Oh, this is still the last group. Okay.
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry. Can you please suspend for a moment? We're going to have to take a quick recess. Recess.
Let him go. Richard, go ask her your question. Go ask her your question.